Yeah, we're still getting set up. be really loud too, I'm sorry. I really wish I had a new pair of gloves, but money's been tight. Like even from here, I can feel the heat right here with my hand. It's not coming through the metal. Not really. But it's been a while, and I just found out I can actually use this to stream live now. Before, I think it was like 1,000 followers and X amount of hours, but I've never hit over whatever I got now, which is not much. So it's kind of a pointless endeavor at the moment to scrape off scale buildup, because I ain't got this optimally set up for oxygen versus the propane fucking mixture. So it's going to burn moisture in there regardless, so it's going to continuously build up scale. Trying to do right now is stop the fish mouth from forming and keep practicing the basics. I've had a long break from foraging, dealing with some personal issues, but I find myself trying to return into the shop more often than not to deal with those issues through what we're seeing now. But I like the idea that to work through some of the problems, I just need to work with the metal. And I'm not entirely sure where I'm going with this piece. We'll see where it goes. So, thanks for coming by. Honestly, I don't know how long I'll be streaming, but long enough. I may disappear from camera every so often to get some water. So, we'll see how it goes. So, I guess some easy stuff to pass on. All I'm doing right now is trying to wait for the metal to get to the same temperature as the forage interior, so that nice burnt orange, more like a yellow orange, I guess. The more you do it, the better you'll get at seeing color change. tinkering with some ish thick metal. I'll take some measurements before it's too long, but right now I'm just going through the shaping. So unlike my camera that I normally would be using, plus the laptop I got given, it would have better sound canceling. But this is where we're at right now. Typically, I'd probably be using some tongs, like I can see the area where the metal starts to get really hot along this piece of stock. And where I'm holding it right now, it's actually pretty cool. Like, nothing happening burning wise. If I go any higher, probably would start to feel some pain. I like using it like this, a piece of long stock, because it allows me to control better my hand, where it's going, how it's doing. But that's just my preference. Gotta get out here and work. Right now I'm working on getting the tip right here where it was kind of bunched up. It's slowly starting to rise up on the belly. That's where I'm assuming the belly is at the moment. And the spine is starting to make a nice dip. So I'm trying to make that nice clip. I mean, it's not what I should be doing besides working the tip. But once I get the tip about where I want it, I'm going to start trying to make the heel. And then I'll probably need tongs for because I'm going to push it in pretty far. I also need to check to make sure my ABS membership is still in service. Kind of pointless to shoot for mastery if I'm not going to be able to do all this stuff the right way. God forbid I become a hobbyist. Not putting as many forceful blows into it, but I could be driving it way harder. I really need something that sticks out, holds up the project. I'll get a buddy in the welder. I could probably bend some piece of stock steel or some rebar myself and situate it somehow to slide in and out underneath this. I want to get a table for that process so I can just weld a piece of flat bar underneath it. So that way it'll just hold itself and I don't have to do this all the time. We'll see how she goes. Starting to form another mouth. So we're just going to get that nice and hot. 2 people. Awesome. Welcome. That's a little bit of equalize coming into that enemy. So I hope everybody's day's doing well. Like I said to everybody else, or the other person here, feel free to share the link if you want. I don't mind. As you can tell, I'm not doing this for the money. Even if there was any. We're just seeing what we got. That's about it. Mark my anvil about the distances it has. That's about 5 inches. I was just going to hit it in the wrong spots. I really should have brought out more water. I.e. water. I didn't bring any with me. Sorry, I can't see the chat. So if you say anything, I can't see. If you don't say anything, that's awesome. I mean, it is what it is. Like I said, I'm not doing this for like money. Just do it. Figure it out, share. If I get any water later, I'll probably go and shoot this further out. But all in all, like I said, it's not that big of a deal. Going where the metal goes today. Oh, welcome, new person. Like I said, I can't see who's here. Doing this from the phone, which probably overheat before too long, I'm sure. Maybe. I don't know. But it's been a while, so I figured I would reach out and see how everybody's doing. I'm surviving best I can anyway. What it is. But like I said on other streams and other videos, the thinner the metal gets, the faster it'll heat up. difference in sound is because it's getting colder, but also because the anvil itself is cold. So it sucks out a lot of the heat for those of you that haven't been here before. Thin down the tip a bit more. Hope everyone's going to have a nice Christmas. Or a Merry Yule. As best as you can, anyway. To be honest, if I had to get one thing for holiday, birthday, Christmas, whatever, I'd probably want a bigger shop, to be honest with you. Not huge. I don't need like a warehouse or something. But just bigger. I can slowly build up towards better tools, have space to work, because in here it's kind of cramped. It's one of those things. Gotten a better profile. Just gonna try to draw it back this rest of the way. Not exactly sure how long I want it yet. No, some chats. Hey Turish. Hello Oxlanda. I see chats now, so I can say hi to all of you. I had keyword had a tape measure somewhere once upon a time. We will make do with what we have, of course, as always. How long we want this sucker. But now, I'm going to mark the anvil as well. Now, soapstone will hold while it's in the forge for a while. Got a rough mark on the anvil so I can see how far it is. I guess I can put this back in my pocket. It won't fall out. We'll see. So what I'm doing is heating up that mark I made with the soapstone. We're going to try to draw a heel out there, and that'll be the full length of the blade, hopefully. Now it will move, in the end it will move, like the length will. As I draw the steel out, it'll either grow or it will elongate. But that's how it goes. something I get to do every day, even though for the most part there's been a lot of days recently I could. It's just hard to get motivated to come out and do anything. So, oh hey, we got some more people. Welcome. But some of the simplest pleasures in my life is this, playing video games with friends, reading, having a nice drink by a fire, stuff like that. Simple pleasures. For whatever reason, I feel like society is sucking this out of my life. But I understand that returning to a simpler place in my life is a lot harder than I'd like to believe it to be. It's not as simple as just taking all my shit, selling my home, bushwhacking it for a while. Nor is moving or moving people in or whatever have you. This shit is simple in theory, but it's not. No matter what you do in life, shit's never going to be simple. Everything's complicated. No matter what you do, it's always going to be complicated. As always, remember safety first. Wear your eye pro and your ear pro. It's more of a do as I say, not as I do. Oh, and wear gloves. I was hoping it would have snowed by now, but such is life. It's just really cold and windy. So, we kicked this little nubbin out. I gotta do it to the other side too. It wasn't really hot enough, but I needed to get some progress on it. Don't lean your metal up like that. I really need to clay the interior. Oh, hey, there's 7 people. Hey, it's Mr. Brushface. Turish. And whoever else is here. Like I said, I don't see everybody. I occasionally check the chats, but we're getting there. So, making this heel. If I had a guillotine device, I'd put it right here on the anvil in this hardy hole, and I'd stick it through past the heel, and I'd just start hitting it, and it'll make shoulders, and it'll kind of choke it down. So I want to go a little bit past the heel, like an inch, and that'll make a choke. And that's just, it doesn't do anything, it's just fancier, is how it was described to me. right there. So, in theory, I take a guard, it would slide and butt to that, in theory. But it also gives me a spot to do that with. Now, I could have done that and made that a little bit easier on myself. Like I said, and I've always have said and will say, I am not an expert. As much as I would wish that to be not true. I wish I was an expert. That takes time. Let that lean again, it's dangerous, it could slide out, start a fire if it was on something that wasn't clean. I cleaned the floors of the shop often enough that it's not an issue. Unfortunately for me, back to smoking. Surprisingly cheaper than the other stuff. You don't want to hammer on the cholt. All I'm doing is upsetting using the edge of the anvil, upsetting the part behind the heel to give it a bit more lift. And that'll bring the tang up higher and the end of it. Is it the correct method? No. But if it works, it works for now. Like I said, I'm just kind of doing. There's no real plan. There's no real action. You get an electric blanket eventually, so you can throw it up the anvil and keep it warm in the winter. That way it doesn't freeze. I say freeze, but it doesn't get too cold that it doesn't want to work. Half on, half off. I think if my instructor saw me at the moment, he'd probably be bitching at me. But we have a blank. Now I can start drawing the belly out by pulling this out all the way up towards the tip, and that'll form the cutting edge. I kind of liked the forges at the school I went to last year. It was a fire, it was in the center coming up, had a refractory brick deflector at the very top to keep the heat inside like this pattern. And I could lay the metal flat across it or next to it because it had fire brick all along the sides to help keep the heat in. I hope you're having a great day. All 5 of you. We lost a few, that's fine. It's not that big of a deal. Like I said, every stream. It's great that you're here. If you're not, I understand. Oh, we've got 6 people. Nice. So, welcome to Stallman Storage. If you like it, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I don't stream very often. But sometimes I do. again, I do stress don't do what I'm doing. It's not safe. I'm not sponsored, so just so you know. But it is what it is. Don't really have anything insightful to share. Just, man, it's kind of how I feel about the stream this, man. Well, Panda, I am making a knife. Okay, thank you, Mr. Brushface. Thank you for the passing it around. But I am making a knife. We'll see what kind when it gets done. I apologize even with some severes. After a while, you'll start to know. You can see, well, you probably can't see it, but right now it's bending up. It's because I'm hammering along the edge and it likes to curve. So once I get an idea of what I want from this knife, I could very well easily change it. True. Honestly, if I could just live on a mountainside, had nothing else to do besides eat, drink, and make, I would. Back there, I got a coal forge. I have to do a lot of repair. It is rusted to a motherfucking nth degree. But it's still standing under its own weight, so it's positive. I just haven't gotten around to actually cleaning it. No clue what it's made of, like metal-wise. I do need to clay it eventually once it's clean. I don't want to do it before that. It does need an absolute shit ton of tender loving care. It has a mechanism that allows the current to be blown in whatever direction within a certain angle. Like there's an ash dump, obviously, but if I can keep it upright, it's going to be blowing straight up. But it's wide enough I could leave a bunch of iron in there to be worked later, which I like. And it came with a blower, a hand crank, which was the biggest part I wanted. So when you start thinning out the metal, the thin parts get hot faster. So sometimes you just want to turn it so it's the thickest parts at the base of the fire. I mean, it's in refractory fabric in there, so it's going to get heat no matter what it does. But since this is just burning straight down from the burner, I want to keep the thick parts nearest because it'll take longer for it to heat up and the longest to lose heat. Right now I'm not worried about straightening it out. I just want to get that edge made, and then I can slowly kind of creep it back down as we go. After a certain point, it won't be ideal to straighten it back out because the edge will be so thin I can fuck up the bevel. But if I was to start straightening it, this. Nice light tips to kind of just push it back down. Then I check it from where I want it to be. Like there's going to be a dip here where I started making the heel and the, I guess, pseudo choke in this sense. So there'll be a difference. So something like that. And that'll straighten it out a little bit. This craft is much like riding a bike. Yeah, you could leave it for years and come back and pick up a hammer and start hammering. But much like riding a bike, it takes a while to get used to it again and to bring yourself back into it. Shit, I haven't touched metal for a while. A few months, maybe a little bit more. Life's just been in the way. It's a pain in the ass. But occasionally, I get motivated to come out. It's one of those I just mock myself until I get ready to go out. And some people say, that's a terrible idea. Like, no, I know me. That's how I do it. Now, I tell everyone the same things. I'm not a master smith. I'm barely what I would consider an apprentice. But there are better smiths out there with great channels. That you should also check out. And should you want to, or there's a call for it, I could actually get more active on my own Discord for this channel. I don't do it because I'm lazy, but also because there's not really a need for it. Like I've done a lot of stuff for this shop that it's just not a call, you know what I mean? It's just why. There's a lot of cool stuff I could build. I could build a Trendle hammer or a press. Unfortunately, the more you make, the more you find out you'll need new tools. Those tools require other tools to make those tools. And so on, and so on, and so up into infinitum and nauseam, infinitum, whatever. I'm not a Latin. I'm not good with Latin. But, that said, as I've said in the past, if you want it bad enough, you'll do it. Starting to bend. There we go. Tip needs more love. But yeah, you do it enough, you love it. I have all sorts of crazy plans I want to do, like eventually do it like an ASMR type deal, where I don't talk. You hear the fire, you hear the hammer, that's it. But for now, I'm just here. Just here. Has moved a bit, about like nearly half an inch from where I originally wanted it. Yeah, about a half inch. Which ain't bad. If it's a little over, it's a little over. I'm not too picky. Good news is the anvil's starting to warm up. Of course it is. But it's not nearly as loud as it could be. I've got some chains wrapped around it. I could use some like magnets underneath like the horn and the back work face of the anvil to help the steel weigh more. But it is what it is. But you're not wrong. So with that, I will put in my ear protection. I'll probably smoke another cigarette. The mini view. It's good for moving metal, but it is not rounded enough. This one's been my trusty one for a long time. So we're going to drop that tip down again. Get it more in line. She's getting there. Like I said, the thinner the tip where the edge is going to get, the faster it heats up, the faster it loses heat. So I've turned the thicker part of the material back towards the heat. I can't tell how loud I am either because I got the ear broken. Bellied a bit, which is fine. Correcting the spine of here. Alright, so what this would be like a recurve. I kind of like that actually. I don't like the hammer marks from the big view. But those could be like ground out later. Go back with the Nordic. Get this stuff going. Again, I wish I had something to hold this for me. I could turn to the back burner and push this further in, but I wouldn't be able to grip it because it'd be too close to the heat. would actually want to see this stream, probably working right now. I actually don't know what time it is. And people in my house had COVID, so I've been quarantined from my day job. Like I said, the heat flees the thinner spots. Anvil's still pretty cool. So it's going to take longer to keep everything even. And if you can see over top of the anvil, there's a spot where I work a lot of the metal on. You can see where I work most of the metal. There's like a few gouges over here, not gouges, but clean spots from the surface grease that's been on it since I had it unpacked. Like some people go, oh, it's gonna be rusted. Well, the more you work it hot, it's gonna buff that out. I mean, the rust can either get ingrained in the metal or transferred to my working piece. But for the most part, it's been good not ingrained itself. But it does need to be oiled eventually. Just a little technical. It'd be different if I was working every day. Okay. Now, have the time that we have. So working it back to the heel. Different position of the hammer. Let's try to keep it even. Like, I still enjoy that recurve look. So this is where your guard would be. So that cutting edge is gonna have that dip in. I don't mind it. I like the aesthetic. But that's just me. I got taught how to sort of half-ass do this, because I'm obviously half-assing. At a school, I actually enjoyed it. I wish I had the money to go back, even in a course. If I could do it repeatedly, I would. It was a 2-week course. Thoroughly loved it. I didn't have time to stream it, obviously. There's just no feasible way of negotiating all that, all the noise, all the people. I'd have to get a lot of consent, to have them be visible. Because my station was in the line of other people. Even with that recurve in it, I can have the spine straight flat. I have to tap the spine a bit because it is kind of bowing up a bit. So, looking at it, it kind of does this when it's lying sideways, even if it is kind of like this. Just take some love taps to it, let that back out. Simply consistency applied. Now I have to angle it up a bit because I have beveled the blade some. And everything you do working with the knife, you make sure it's even on both sides. Like, it doesn't look like I'm putting a lot of force, because I'm not, but there's also, if you put your fingers under it, you're going to feel it. Could bend the metal a bit with like my vise over there in the corner. I don't really feel like it. It's not at some weird need to fix part. Just what it is. learned a cool knife design while I was there. I just don't remember enough of it to do it. I think they called it the Barracuda or something like that. Go back and check. I mean, again, it has moved from its spot originally of about 6 1/8 of an inch in length. It's probably closer to a 6 1/2 or a 6 1/2 inch blade. So it has a little over 6 1/2 inches of cutting once I'm done, but I'm not done yet. Using what I got. Like I said, I wish I had new gloves, but I don't. They're a little pricey for the good ones. I like the ones I can actually feel things better. I mean, it's good to have protection, but you also want to have a good control over what you're working. Working with tongs is better for this. I just don't have a hold fast to hold the piece I'm working on to tap through it. I don't really want to wait for this to cool down enough to use my cut angle on it. Show you another recurve I was working on. So, while that finishes heating, so this is another piece I was working on. It has that curvature to it. I know I over-exaggerate when I do this, but there is a curvature to it. I ain't done with this. I still have to finish out this. And obviously some of the rest of the work. I could save this for a grinder, which probably will be the truth. Unfortunately for me, those puppies are about $2.5 grand, the good ones, or at least too much heat. I'm talking my head off. Recess is still there. There's still a lot of metal in the spine. You can get a lot of knives. You can get really, really thin on the spine. They still be good knives. They're just going to be for different stuff. I'm kind of hungry, but I don't know what to eat. So it is what it is. Let's see if you guys. Yeah. But yeah, it is what it is. We've only been, damn, it's already been an hour. Well, holy shit. It's already been an hour. I'm a little impressed. Not much, but a little. Too cold. Deeper in there, we're going to correct that bend again. appreciate y'all who stuck since the beginning. Gonna get a nice blister on my thumb. Maybe get some more calluses back, who knows? See. I need to get this thing leveled again. The stump that is holding on to this. So this is, I think this is nearly 200-pound anvil with, I'm going to be generous or conservative rather than say this is about a 50-pound stump, if not more. So those two together give me weight, which is a better work surface for larger projects. You only need about no more than 100 pounds to make knives, but I wanted to work more than just knives. There's a pair of, I don't even know what those are, just somebody's Ren Fair shit. I plan to unrivet them later and straighten it back out. Try to reshape them some other way. I don't really have the setup for it because I still need a doming anvil and a rounding anvil for that. And we straighten her back down. There's not a whole lot of blows that happen to the spine, but I do like to go back over it. And just a couple taps. So it has been compressed more than the untouched stock metal. So it is thinner here than here. So if I lay that flat, it's different than if I lay that flat. If that makes any sense to some of you that are still here. I'll definitely touch up the heel again and work my way back towards the tip to belly more. I want it to have a bit bigger on the cutting edge. So here's a shitty knife I made. So with this is the heel that got drawn out there. I want that to be higher and more of this to be the cutting edge than what's here, because this right here is the cutting edge. Like that's the bevel. That's what's going to be the cutting. I want it to be higher so you can have and/or work better stuff. It doesn't have to be. If you look at a pocket knife you get from a gas station, you'll see a very, 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 very small cutting edge. I'm also pulling see it's starting to slowly belly out more. I need to start pushing the metal this way, and I'm going to start hitting them higher up here. So even with my rusty tools, because I have neglected them to a degree, there's like hammer marks where it struck the anvil face, and angles and such. Those will work out as I work the metal. It'll smooth it down, beat it down, wear it down. That's where they're fine. I should be oiling. Should be. But that's something I'll do later. After. When I start cleaning up, I'll take a little bit of mineral oil or something like that, coat this. CLP will work in a pinch, but it's not that great, as anyone who's ever used it before knows. But if you're new, welcome to the show. This is Stallman from Stallman's Forge. If you like this kind of stuff, subscribe, hit the bell if you want. Do what you do. Maybe I'll do this more in the future, maybe I won't. You never know.
other side. Wherever I'm striking, the other side's doing something similar. It's always good to flip it over and check. You don't want one side to be in one way because it'll smooth itself out on the anvil. Like hammer marks come out to a degree. Yeah, I also recommend if it's something you're interested in or you're already doing. Yes, I have the books. Yes, I recommend the books. And if you want to learn about this, I recommend the ABS or some other form of Bladesmith Association to get their resources, chances to go to their schools, see where it takes you. My goal is to get my master's paper here in America, then go overseas to somewhere like Germany, get the master's there, come back, and start a trade school. That's the goal. That's the long term. Once I'm happy with how this is going, I'll let the tip cool down a little bit and I'll turn it around. And I'll hammer out where I want the tang to go. That's always a exciting part. I'll have to actually cut this to length first. I saw someone mention something. Yeah. It's not justifying it, it's battling the responsible person in me going, that money could go toward bills, food, or insurance of some kind, like my car. My car is currently in the shop. I'm going to pay $1,000 on my deductible end of it. It's hard to have those problems and warrant buying a $3,000, almost $3,000 grinder. Or a power hammer that's nearly $9,000 with delivery. It's just justifications that are harder to do when you're born. That gravity drop is something I learned from one of my mini books. It's a good way to move metal without moving too much. In theory, I could also just push down on it, but I don't want to do that yet. But got it pretty good. Got a nice edge forming on this. One side more than the other, so I got to work on this side a bit more. Same. Looks like I gotta move this side more than this side now. But yeah, Turish, if you wanna bump those links if you could. I'm sure there's Doc or Joke or whoever. I shared it to a couple places. I don't wanna end the stream just to send it out again. But that said, go back. Let this run and heat up. started feeling my legs get weird, so I knew it was time to get some water. I'm gonna put back in my earphone. You'll be amazed how quiet it is with something in your ears and out of them. Alright, that tip's gonna come back down. It's not so thin I can't just keep tapping it down, so that's what I'm gonna do. Recurve is coming out pretty okay, to be honest. I can't give myself too much shit. It is actually coming out pretty hard. It's going to need a lot of TLC once I get the handle ready, or the tank ready. Other than that, it should be alright. So, like I said, I need to break the tip down further for what I want. I like to kind of keep the tip sort of in line. It doesn't have to be, but it's better if it is. And with that in mind, just gotta, just a little bit at a time. That's all. Ideal, but now it will wobble, like it will start to bow on the bevel. When I start to do this, I've already started it. And that can be corrected just by doing the tip again. More notifications. What is it this time? Just notifications after notifications. Bills I gotta pay. Okay. Anything there? Oh yeah. Okay. So at an interesting point where it's thick and thin, so it's going to take a little bit to heat back up. Obviously, again, I say the same things repeatedly, but it is true. When I change something, it could upset where it's thinnest back to thick by forcing more material downwards and packing it back into itself. So right now, the edge is kind of doing this right here where I've upset the tip. The more I hammer the edge, the more it's going to bend back. So all I'm trying to do is heat at this one spot. Need to be careful with how thin I make the edge. The tip is too thin before I quench, hump right here. You can see I have to upset it a bit. What that will require is that back end. You can see it. It's not very easy right now because of the camera position. It needs to come down a bit. This will upset it a bit, which is more than fine. I got plenty of time, plenty of material, so if this is a failure, we can start over. Always remember that. If you mess up, it's alright. Time and material is dime a dozen. While you're seeking the perfection in steel, your life may feel like that. But when you devote yourself to a craft, you devote the time and energy to do it, it feels like forever on the end of it. So for me to master it seems eons, light years away. When I become a master and I look back, I feel like that didn't matter. The day someone says that one of my pieces is an art piece, it's a work of art, mastercraft, that'll be the day I accept and acknowledge myself as reaching a master. But until then, I make progressively less shitty lives. Progressive. Eventually. Trying to put the steel underneath the fire and overheat it. And you can overheat steel. Some of those who might not know, it can get, you can cook the steel. You can cook the carbon right out of it. That is a way to make iron. Just not very good iron. Just gonna take this. Just kind of round it a bit. Doesn't need much. Doesn't need much power behind it. Just steady. Just steady. And there we go. Back to about where we want. We need the back end here. Back end over here to come out more, and it progressively come out and then sloop down and then grass out again. It's just time and effort. That's all it is. After I do this, I might have earned myself a nice break as well as a meal. Right now, I would pay myself $5 to do it. It is tiring. I've only been at this for an hour and 28 minutes. Not bad. Could be worse. So 3 of you are still here. Thank you. Yes, I am tired. Doesn't seem like a lot of work, but it is. Swinging 2 to 3 pound hammer a day for an hour or two. Doesn't seem like a lot, but it gets there. You also learn how much you clench your teeth when hammering. So if you have any questions, now's a good time as any to ask them. close I can't work it with my hands. I'll have to get tongs or cut that off with a cut tool I got. And of course, eventually it'll radiate down anyway. But it is fun to watch the heat trickle down the metal. Like watching all of it turn the right color I need. First thing is the first. We're going to do the same thing, but on the other side. Same old, same old. Ah, got a cut. Shit happens. So one of my hammers has a sliver. Cut me. Something like that happens, just rub some dirt in it. But whoever's left, which I imagine is probably Turish, thank you. Actually, it's probably cut wrong here. Wrong it. Doesn't hurt. We're getting there. Let's take a quick gander at her. She's shaping up. Still needs a bit of work, but we're getting there. Little by little. Tip's still nice and fat and to a degree. Let's see how much. Bring down this back here. Another reason I don't like wearing ear pros is so I can hear that. Now I still forewarn you, this is still exceptionally hot. So, here comes the not so fun part. You see this right here, go all the way in. That's all going to be hot. But I need a certain spot of it to be heated up, because take something like this. This is a cut tool. Normally there'd be a handle and I could just put it down on top of the work, then hit it with a mallet or a sledge. Fortunately for me, I don't have that ready. Closest I could probably get is to try to stick some tongs through it. As you can tell, not so much. I got nothing that'll fit in there to even hold it for me with tongs in hand. We might have something here. Not very stable, not very good. It's gonna blow. But you can use tongs in absence of a proper handle. You just have to find how it can hold it and how it can build. That's a better question. Alright, that will work for now. Once that spot gets hot, we'll have to put this down on our mark, take a mallet, pop it. So some anvils will have a step on the side or the front or on the base. That's where you do cuts. That's what we're going to be doing with this. This is a hot cut. And eventually it will have a handle when I get around to doing so. The real question will be, that's way better than fit. That'll be my hold. Like I'll be holding it down and bam. I'll do that a couple times. There are other tools that would sit here, and I just tap my hammer on it while it's fucking hot, and it'll cut through it, and I turn it and do the same thing and kind of break it off. For now, that'll work. Oh man, I didn't need to see. So let me get reset. Can't get too hot. So I swing hammer. Plop it down. We have to be sort of fast. Work as you can and as few heats as you have to. Alright. I have to do it again. It is a little awkward. It's one of the reasons I kind of wish I had an assistant. Now, I can see where I'm cutting. I'll use this to kind of weaken it a bit. I'll put it in there and kind of work it. And then if I have to keep chiseling at it, I will. Likely, we're going to have to keep chiseling at it. And this can actually, I can put the piece of metal in between, and it'll hold it a lot easier than what I can with one hand, hammering and doing the other stuff. Another thing to do to keep your tools in working order is to know the weight. I borrowed this. I don't honestly know. I haven't weighed it yet. 3 pound. That'll work. I think that's 3.5. on the money. All right, throw you back in there. That spot nice and heated. So this did its job. It is hot. There's paint on that to help protect it. So you saw that smoke coming off, that was that. But we have weakened it, which is good. So we're going to have to keep going as soon as it heats back up. Once we cut it, we can stretch it, crunch it, whatever we need to do to get it to whatever length I want. And it'll be easier from there to use tongs to work the metal as I see fit. Now there is a bit of a problem. As you see, it's still moving, even though we're cutting pretty good into it. All right, let's move on to another fun part, which is not as fun as I'd like to make you believe. Working with, well, it's still hot, my vise. Using so much heat, it's ridiculous. All I do is try to bend it. I can see the tear forming. Just kind of bam. Leave that there for now. Whew. There we cut it off. Went better than I had hoped. Not nearly as smooth as I wished, but better than I hoped. Alright, so we can take this cut piece out. The vise. Lock that somewhere cooled. Now we have this to work with. All right. Another gulp of water. Now, when you're working with stuff like this, it's best to try to find the right tongs for the right job. I only got 3 kind of sets of tongs. Some will be just good enough to lop it in. I don't have to worry about that. I have other tongs that'll be better for it. In a second. Probably go with these the lighter mouth jaw logs. We'll go back to working with the Nordic hammer. And we'll go from there. Now all that is unhit really, besides that part we just cut off. There ain't no mark on the anvil. Means we went just deep enough till we can break it. So we don't need to cut it because we don't have to cut tool. One day, maybe we'll get one. One day. Not today. Now we just wait on that to heat up. So I'm going to go ahead and pull out one of my earbuds and just work from there. Whew. Makes your ears sweaty. Now, that said, always make sure you hydrate. I got to go back and get me some more anyway. So I'll just sit tight. last. All right. Before I begin, protection. And thank you, Serge. I know it takes time, but like I always say, I make progressively less shitty knives. Now I do have to be nearer to it here, because it is thicker. Most current blacksmiths that make knives would flatten this out after doing this to make a quote-unquote full tang. But I don't like the term full tang because it's you just pinch it. I like to squish it, compact it, make it stronger that way. Doesn't necessarily make it the best, it's just the way I like to do it. So got my line mark there is about 6, so we're probably about like 5 inches, 4 or 5 inches right there. Which is good. Welcome back, whoever. Fuck. But with that much space in your hand, it's like my palm from here to here is about 3 and some change, closer to 4 inches. So with that there and that being 5, that gives a little extra. So you can choke up on it in different ways if you have to change how you grip the knife. It also gives you different ways of utilizing it, which is going to be nice. But again, this isn't for me, it's for someone else. We'll see how it goes. Seems counterintuitive to do this, but it'll help in the long run. Trust me there. So, I can connect it here more. Bring it back down. I saw somebody say something. Yeah, I mean, as long as you take care of it. I mean, you don't like use it to grow up in boxes or other weird stuff. As long as it's doing its job, it shouldn't have any problems. Staying true to itself as well as being useful. You'd be surprised. You would be surprised. How's my phone feeling? It's warm, but not that bad. We're almost at the 2-hour mark. Sorry about that. Okay. I don't think it's going to tell you who's all here. It's probably still reading myself. Better. try something that's probably going to fuck this up. We'll see. We'll see. It's probably going to freeze up on me here in a second. All right. I'll be back, everybody. I'm going to take a break. Let my phone cool down. So we'll be back before you know it.